I am continuing my gruesome trajectory. I am charging forward with all the speed of someone that knows they don't have to have any speed at all to succeed in this ambition. And the ambition, of course, of carving life all the way out of the countryside, rendering it a desolate wasteland of what once was, immortalized in time as a gesture of death. I am distracted for something that most often I've never had to see before. Someone just sitting in my way, not worrying about it. This annoys me tremendously. I'm going to go ahead with a thrust.
Yeah. I would like to meet this with a parry in...
Okay.
I take over narration now for a bit, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The thrust in this instance is my guy, just kind of straightening his back more than it was always straightening a fully 12-foot tall hulking skeleton thing.
The parry on the part of Magne is uncrossing his legs, reaching over the table, and pouring from a steaming teapot another cup of tea on the other side of this table laden with chess pieces.
This disarms the skeleton, and it gives a point in your favor. What this looks like is 12-foot tall death looming upon you, coming closer, and you pouring tea, and right before they impact of the table and knock everything aside, they just stop there and look down on it from their heightened position. Just kind of confusedly, immediately disarmed, as all the best parries do.
Yeah.
From here on out, we'll be secretly deciding our positions and then just sending them into the chat at the same time. But I felt like that was the coolest way to open this battle.
Yes.
And I imagine Magne will now wait for Death Manifest to say something about this.
Yes.
Explain this.
Oh, tea. Well, you see, it's leaves heated in boiling water. Added a little bit of milk to taste, and it goes down rather smoothly.
It looks around the area where you are. This is a distant farmlands that this encounter is having place on.
Yes.
Right near in front of a pleasant shack, an obvious homestead. You found your place between him, Death Manifest, and between that, whoever actually lives there. The milk.
Oh, yes. I was a guest. I asked for tea, and when I saw I had company, I simply poured out an additional cup.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright. 3, 2, 1.
And from that, I put thrust, well, June put feint. From that, I'd like to gesture him to sit down, please. Play a game. It's one of the ancient games.
Ancient.
Old as society itself.
Society's coming to an end.
Oh, everybody says that.
Think
Oh,
otherwise.
really? Yes. How can something as glorious as civilization come to an end?
By me.
Well, certainly shorter people have tried.
Skeletons don't smile. Alright. Well, you efficiently disarm his blustering feint of I can scare this guy to fear and just get this bit over and done with. That's 2 points in Magne's favor for 0 for death, which is interesting. A cool little launch off. I'm going to go ahead with my next move. 3, 2, 1.
Wow. Okay, once again, June thrusted and I parried. This is not planned.
Okay. And so what happens here is that Death leans down ever so slightly, almost imperceptibly, and that long, ludicrous skeletal arm, which of course is a series of different skeleton arms clutching different humeruses to lean down to this final one that moves just a pawn forward 1 space, then 2 spaces, then 3 spaces, and Magne, how would you like to interrupt what he's doing?
You know, as part of a game, perchance, we have rules. You can't just move a pawn 3 spaces in 1 turn. It's a max of 2 spaces for the first turn of each pawn.
Stops moving, it kind of blown away by your confidence. Again in this thing, stands up straighter and looks down at you with just looming chill all around him, silent for some moments too long, and you can't quite tell if that's like sheer loathing of you or some kind of genuinely being lost for words.
Well, you see, it's something of an ecosystem. They're all filling their roles. There are definitely ones that can move 3 spaces at a turn, but the pawns, they move 2 originally, and then 1 ever going onward.
This is not your ecosystem, is it? It looks around, it chills the cattle off in the distance, and just waves bashing against a craggy outlook. And the fact that this is the kind of place where people are born and die and never think about it.
Yeah.
You think more than these cattle do.
Well, in a way, I suppose you're right. And in a way, much larger, greater, more encompassing way, I suppose you are, pardon the pun, but dead wrong.
Is that what I'm called? Dead.
Well, death, but root words and whatnot. Death.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
something fun and interesting happens all of a sudden, which is the wispy shadows of the cloak pull out the steel iron wrought kind of chair across the opposite end of you, and Death opts to literally sit down a table opposite you. And this is just for my narrative satisfaction. How does that internally make Magne feel?
But it's definitely a success. He's made him sit down and play the game. It is also a little weird and unnerving. He had his own chair ready for the sitting. It's definitely something to investigate.
Alright. Who is priority right now?
Well, I'm priority last, so it's you now, right?
Okay. Alright. Let's dramatize this a little bit. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead with a move. Alright. 3, 2, 1. Oh. Did I get you?
Yeah, you got me.
Thrust beats fate. The victor made an offensive move. I'm going to repost the rule set here so I can see it more quickly and clearly.
Yep.
Alright. So in this instance, the cape thing, it's kind of black tendrils of wispy motion just go over the distinct chest pieces and clasp them in shadow. When it lets go its grasp, they're just skeletons with just miniaturized repetitions of people that he has, you must imagine, quite recently killed.
Yeah.
You might have known them, traveler.
Potentially, I make a point to know as many people as possible. You never know when you might bring some otherwise unheard of joy to somebody's life. Or when they might bring that joy to you.
Or when it ends suddenly. When they were spending time together learning each other's motions, and then I took the motions away. When they thought they were working something out and fulfilling a dream and living a bigger life, and then their life stopped. Wordlessly, immediately. That feels like the kind of thing that would get a point over on you.
Yeah. And the items are just for storytelling, they don't provide any advantage?
No mechanical advantage, but narrative advantage is advantage more than any die boost could actually be, you know?
Oh, definitely.
Alright. You can item with me however you like.
I would like
Is
to...
that going to equate to a move, or is that just showing an item? It should probably be a move to get us into this next narrative leading.
Definitely. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
What do ties require?
So if we both use the same thing, then whoever has priority proves successful.
Okay, so was that me this time? Because it switched off to you, then it switched off to me?
Yeah, you initiated the scene, and also I'm pretty sure it's literally you. So you win this one. I'll update the scorecard, and you can dictate to me the deal.
Like Magne to, from a little sack at his hip side, bring out an apple. Not exactly fit to the size of his opponent, but an apple nonetheless. Would you like a bite of this? It's grown locally from the farm right to our west.
Looks at the apple and slowly looks up at you. This is an ideological argument you know I don't consume.
Oh, one might partake in the ideology of the apple. The idea that people can work hard and grow something that you can enjoy having never even met them.
He has little to say to that. He looks down at the apple again, pointedly, and you're like, oh, am I making him think about it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go for a move. 3, 2, 1. Oh, another point in Def's favor.
Yeah.
Def will reach under his billowing cloak, not by actually going under any reasonable, accessible point, but by just thrusting his hand into himself through his stomach.
Yeah.
And he will bring out then a small cow doll, some straw work meant to clearly approximate a little calving.
Yeah.
It's obviously a child's toy. And he'll drop that onto his side of the chessboard, sending a couple of the skeleton pieces collapsing onto the grass around you, blowing away with the wind. This is largely wordless for him to accelerate that moment, and he'll just look at you after he does it continually.
Magne is visibly saddened by the implication of child death that this has brought.
I want to ask you about it.
You want to ask me? Please.
She went in front of it.
In front of the doll?
It's not alive. She went in front of it.
There's many a good thing people will do. In times of great suffering, we will protect what we love, what we believe we are able to protect. Obviously, her parents are much bigger than her. She couldn't protect her parents even if she tried, but this, even if it isn't alive, it has meaning to her. She can protect it from something coming to tear her world asunder.
I couldn't have killed it.
You couldn't, but she couldn't have known that. You were just a threat, and it was important to her.
Enough to die.
There are few things more important. Giving your life for something you care about.
At that, he pushes the doll over to your side of the table. I think he's deciding you can just have this.
I think Magne's gonna put that in his little bag. I appreciate the gesture, stranger.
Death. Sounds like it's your move.
Yep.
Whew.
Okay, ready for the countdown whenever you're ready.
3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Whew. Priority was with you, Parryman.
Yeah.
Alright. I'll
Okay.
mark that on your scorecard.
Well, I can't say it's to the same extent. I will protect this little item, but I would very much like, should I fail here today, for you to keep this in perpetuity. And from that, Magne hands this imposing figure this little bound book. Amateurly bound, papers not equivalent in size, but it's got on the front of it, embroidered in some rudimentary stitching, the story of Magne.
He takes it, maybe overly gently, in some sort of fear that this thing will just die when he touches it, which I suppose you come to realize in that moment he thinks of literally everything he touches.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't know what to do with it. He's holding this. What is it?
It's a book. It is a vessel for the written word.
Like your speech.
Like my speech.
More
But
ideological arguments.
less nebulous. It's more me. In as much that can be held in immortality, it is me. It is my story, my days, my thoughts. Everything I thought was important enough to write down is in that book.
It would continue to live. I can't kill a book.
Indeed. But more than that, it's not that it can't die, that I want it to stay with you. More of a grounding influence, a reminder of impact, if there was any. But the conversation so far, the amount of thought you have put upon this toy, I can't imagine there won't be impact. You seem like an intelligent man capable of introspection.
It would appear that the living too think much of death. I think that means priority with me.
Yep.
Okay, let me just double check the definition of the moves. Okay. Let's take a look at the penalty move part of the book, because I think I'm going to go ahead with it.
Yeah?
Because I think it's the most interesting goddamn thing to happen. If you roll above your current score, fail. And your opponent scores 1 point and has priority next turn, even if they had it this turn. Okay. So if I roll above 2, with 2 6-sided die, you're going to score.
If you do anything but the lowest possible roll.
Right. I'm going to roll 2d6 in a penalty move, and I'll just start dictating it to you.
Yep.
Results to 7. Okay. And Death brings one of his long skeletal arm things out of his cloak. He points to the red sealant upon his chest, in place of where his heart would regularly be, were he anything actually alive, and goes, I can die.
Yeah.
Like you. And he points the finger at the point of your chest where your heart lay under that flesh.
And do you think this makes us more similar or more different?
The same.
I agree. And I cannot see how anyone would want to throw their lot to be a killer, for lack of anything else.
Alright.
Yeah.
You've got priority. You can lead this to a cool little attack.
Okay. 3,
Something.
2, 1.
Alright, you get another point on me. 7-2 in Magna's favor. I went for a feint and he went for a thrust.
Yeah.
The feint, of course, being that I was pointing that long skeletal arm at you.
Yeah.
What did you do?
Did you have passions before you became of death?
There was nothing.
You came into existence in this realm?
I am this. This is all.
It's never all. Everybody in this world is born something. And they don't die that thing unless they want to. You have every opportunity to be something more, to be something new and incredible and irrefutably yourself.
My own name.
What is your name?
I'm gonna go for a move.
Yeah?
3, 2, 1. Ooh! A point in Jeff's favor.
Yeah.
7-3. I might still win it. Okay, and I go for a thrust. And what this looks like in our circumstance is literally just like taking grasp of the chessboard, this time with hands.
Yeah.
Just the actual skeletal hands, not the cloaks. He picks it up and he hurls it off into the ocean. The bones go clattering and the pieces go clattering, and it just splashes miserably and quietly. I am that silence. I am when things fall. I am when it ends and when you don't get to do what you want to do because it's my purpose to prevent it. To unmake. To bring about absolute finality, final void. Silence. My name remains nothing.
From that, I think Magne is definitely taken aback. I imagine in some foolhardy way he tries to recover ground in a joke, the probably only joke in this recording. He's like, well, Silence, I do hope you know that in the proper rules, this means you forfeited the game.
Oh, this goes so up there now.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to make a move?
Okay. Oh, who's got priority?
I believe I've got priority.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Thrust and thrust.
So that's 7 to 4. I really might pull this back. This might be the end of your saucy little philosopher. And he takes grasp of the tea you poured for him, a single long skeletal finger coiling around its handle, and he just lets it flow out then over the edges, poured onto the ground, into the grass. It's this easy every time, the thing that makes sense. Unmaking, ending, purpose. I don't have to sit and listen and think and talk and feel. He's frustrated. Slimes.
You don't have to. Nobody has to. Doesn't it feel good? Sitting, thinking, talking.
Not this confusion.
And from that, I'd like to take another turn from priority. 3, 2, 1.
Oop. Alright, that's a double thrust.
Well,
Good priority on this one.
So
Which brings you to 8 points.
Yeah.
8v4. Go on.
And what's the confusion? I think I make myself, my views, my point very clear.
It doesn't make sense.
Let me help you make it make sense.
I have a way that makes sense. He leans in for his cloak again. The arm descends into it, and out from it comes the terrible and hopefully not iconic sight. That same reaping thing. The farmlands, look at them. I am now the farmlands. I am the end of the farmlands. I reap and I sow, I unmake. This is finality. This will always happen.
And what was it, that thing you just said? Between reap and unmake.
So.
Do you? Do you so? Do you create? Do you make? Or do you destroy? Do you unmake? Where is the sense in one thing that does one thing forever? You come from this higher place, per se, to say it is our time to end. When in fact, does this not make you some lower being? Some automaton that thinks only to justify the ends of death and destruction? You say you sow, but what do you? Your what?
My purpose.
And what is that purpose?
Alright, it's time for a move.
Yep.
You may have already guessed what I might be going for. 3, 2, 1.
What is that purpose, if not to deny others their purpose? And if so, then in the greatest scheme of things, is not your purpose a greater crime to the world at large than it is good? When countless lives must meet their end, reach a terminus that is unpurposed, unfulfilled, for you to meet just one? For you?
I want to suggest a visual because I think it's dope.
Yeah.
I'm going to imagine that you're going to parry this thrust that I put ahead.
Definitely, yeah.
That puts you at 9 points. I imagine now Death taking entirely too broad a swing, uselessly frustrated, angry a swing, utterly predictable long thing, and it gives you enough space to slam your fist down on the teacup in front of you,
Yeah.
shattering it into myriad shards. You take one in your hands, You leap up onto the table underneath his overreaching enormous blow and drive it deep into his heart seal. And he falls down to the ground, clattering beneath you, and you're on top of him then.
And I take no pleasure from this. This is purely the protection, the defense of the innocent lives you seek to destroy for no reason than purpose.
And impossibly, Death seems to be shivering under you, and the coat, that great billowing shadow thing, is dissipating slowly, crawling itself back up him, almost retreating into the skeletal form. And he's so cold.
Nobody deserves to die alone. Do you have any last wish, any final rites?
I would have named myself Magne. And the cloak retreats into him entirely, and then it's just myriad bones falling uselessly to the ground.
From then, I think Magne would go back to the farmhouse and he would ask for a shovel. Then he would spend the rest of the night digging a hole big enough and then construct a headstone and name it Magne. From time immemorial to whatever date that was in the time recording system. May you find a purpose of life in the next.